We give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Ha Rakah Gwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, spreading the good news of the gospel, teaching this truth throughout the world, and who rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect, push the word to the four corners of the earth in all sincerity and risking their life to do so.
Khan, Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Wa Abba Babal. All right, so we did Isaiah 33 at camp, and now we're going to do in this sit down on the Sabbath day, Isaiah 34. All right, go ahead.
Khan. This is Isaiah chapter 34, verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken. Ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it.
Right. Go ahead.
4. The indignation of the Lord Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter.
Right, because right now we're in that time, all right? Obadiah, it says in Obadiah, verse 15, it says, for the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. All right? All right, so we're in that time for the Lord to show his judgment on the heathen, starting with the wicked, and including the 2/3 reprobate that are in America that refuse to recognize the salvation in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Go ahead.
Khan. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses.
Right.
And the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
Right, because America is going to suffer in nuclear destruction because World War III is going to go nuclear. All right? And it tells you that the Lord's going to destroy this place known as Mystery Babylon the Great. It's a mystery to the world, all right? But it's known in the scriptures as Babylon the Great. So, let me grab that in 2 Peter. Chapter 3, verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, and how are they going to be dissolved? They're going to be melted by nuclear fire, chariot fire, laser beams coming out of the so-called UFOs that Yahushua and the angels ride upon. It says, seeing that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be? In all holy conversation and godliness. Let's see what that says in the NLT. It says, since everything around us is going to be destroyed like this, what holy and godly lives you should live? See? So we're to be separate from the rest of this world, operating under holiness, holy conversation, and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh's Son, Yahushai, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, nuclear destruction. It says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Verse 15, and account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul also according to the wisdom given unto him hath written unto you. And that's why we have the epistles of the apostles. All right, and we also have apostles in this time, starting with the head apostles that rule Great Millstone Wow, and that's why we give them double honors. Apostle Hart just said this month he goes on 40 years. See, so he is like them that are in the past, and his the fellow brother that stands by him, Apostle Gabar, Apostle Aramla, Apostle Rakah, right? It says in Hebrews 11, it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it elders obtained a good report. Like in the past, so also now. Go ahead.
I got one here. Proverbs 22, verse 1. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold.
Right, because the Lord ain't dealing with the noble. Let me get that. See, a good name is better than riches in this world. The Lord's not dealing with the nobles. It says, let me see. Yep, right here. 1 Corinthians 1, verse 26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many nobles are called, but them that have a good name, the hopeful elect, that remain faithful unto the end. Go ahead.
Okay, this was Psalms chapter 1, verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
Right, but is what? Prophesying. Because that's what the scriptures are full of, prophecy. Even the history is prophecy that has came to pass. Go ahead.
Okay, are we done?
Go ahead. If you got more.
Oh,
yeah, Isaiah 34. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 34, we'll start at verse 4. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree.
Which he's talking about the host of Edom, the military of Edom, okay? Because this judgment was created for the devil and his angels. The so-called white man is the red devil the Bible speaks of, and the angels are his military, all right? It says in Revelation 6, verse 12, and I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. Which that mighty wind that's coming is from that nuclear destruction. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman hid themselves in the dens, and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? But that's why he's going to gather his elect. When you go into Revelation 7, it says in verse 4, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and we were sealed when we believed what we heard. And there were sealed 144,000, which are men, of all the tribes of the sons of Israel. Verse 9, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations, and kindreds, and people, and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, and palms in their hands. And Yahushua is going to give us those palms, giving us victory. And the white robes represent the innocence, and that's through Yahushua's blood we've been washed. All right? And it says, verse 10, and cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. You got some?
Con, this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 1, and this is a prophecy against Babylon. The word that Lord Yahweh spake against Babylon and against the Lord spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. Declare ye among the nations, and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not, say Babylon is taken, Baal is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces.
Right, which that's going to happen when Yahushua returns. He's going to destroy this place and shake the whole earth. So even these other nations that have idols, they're going to be destroyed at the coming of Yahushua.
Okay. For out of north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate.
Right, which America is that nation.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
And
Russia is going to come and destroy America,
mm-hmm.
Babylon the Great, all right? Which the Medes conquered the Assyrian Babylonian captivity. Captors, you know. Nebuchadnezzar, it's Daniel. Let me grab it. Daniel. Let's see here. Yep, it was Darius. All right. And it says in Daniel 4, nope, not 4. Daniel 5, it's the feast of Belshazzar, the king, made a great feast. And at the end of that feast, after seeing the handwriting on the wall, it says in verse 31, and Darius the Median, and who is in the place of these Medes today are the Russians, took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. 60 is 320s at 62 years old when he took it from Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans, which, let me grab it, Belshazzar, it says, Baal protect the king is what his name meant. And he was, it tells you in here. Let me grab his name. It says, I believe he was like the grandson. Let me see. Belshazzar. Belshazzar, it says, the last king of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. Through his mother, he might have been the grandson of Nebuchadnezzar II. See? So that was the end of Nebuchadnezzar's line ruling. And then you had the Median king, Darius. And so just like right now, you got Babylon the Great, and those Medes are going to be the Russians, which is in Isaiah 13. It says, Isaiah 13:1, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones, I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness, which were prophesying against this place. And he got control of the armies of heaven, the nukes, and the armies of men. All right? And he's given this authority to his son. So it says in verse 17, behold, I will stir up the Medes. Who are those Medes? The Russians today. Against them, who? Babylon the Great, which shall not regard silver And as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bowls also shall dash the young men to pieces, which who has those nuclear missiles? Those Russians.
Mm-hmm.
See? And they're going to arm or help arm all their allies, the BRIC nations, which the NATO nations are going to ally up with the BRIC nations to go against the Babylon, the Great. America, who thinks she can fight everybody, the whore. It says, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, that's why everybody wanted to come here, because like they said, they heard that the streets were paved in gold, right? So all these other nations wanted to come to this place. It says, the beauty of the Chaldees, which it's all witchcraft, excellency shall be as when Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, which he's going to rain fire on it. Instead of natural elements, though, he's going to use the nuclear missiles. All right, he's going to use those other nations' men to shoot nuclear missiles on Babylon the Great, which is going to cause the whole earth to shake. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was thinking of America, but let me read this, finish this first. Make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast.
Right.
But
which everything's going to die here. And then the only thing that's going to remain are those desert creatures, which is Malachi 1, which you're going to see these other nations, the people that here have businesses from other nations, leave, which I just shared a video with an interview with Robert Kawasaki.
Yeah.
And he had an East Indian, a Persian, talking to him. And he said everybody in India wanted to come to America.
Yeah.
And he said now he's seeing everyone leave America and go back to India. So it says in Malachi 1, it says the burden of the word of Yahweh to Israel by Malachi, I have loved you, saith Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith Yahweh, yet I loved Jacob, which Jacob really don't believe that the Lord loves him for the most part. 2/3 are going to die because they reject the love of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. It says in verse 3, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness, nuclear destruction. And whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, saith the Yahweh of hosts. And that's the spirit they're in right now. We're impoverished, and they want to pretty much come down with the sword. It says, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh had indignation forever, which the Lord hates the so-called white race, Esau, Edom. They're the red devil the Bible speaks of. And your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, Yahweh will be magnified from the border of Israel, which we're glorifying Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai every time we do these videos. We glory in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Go ahead.
Well, this is Jeremiah 50, chapter 51, verse
51?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Verse 24. I will repay Babylon and the people of Babylonia for all the wrong they have done to my people in Jerusalem, says the Lord power. Look, almighty mountain destroyer of the earth, I am your enemy, says the Lord power. I will raise my fight against you to knock you down from the heights. When I am finished, you will be nothing but a heap of burnt rubble.
A burnt rubble. It's going to be a desert.
You will be desolate forever. Even your stones will never again be used for buildings. You will be completely wiped out, says the Lord power.
Right. Which I got this one in the GNT, Jeremiah 50 and 33. It says, Yahweh Almighty says, the people of Israel and of Judah are oppressed, all who captured them, and are guarding them closely and will not let them go. But the one who will rescue them is strong, which is Yahweh sending his son Yahushai. His name is Yahweh Almighty. He himself will take up their cause and will bring peace, which Yahushai is the bringer of peace. He's Shiloh, the Prince of Peace, to the earth, but trouble to the people of Babylonia. See, he's going to bring peace to the Israelites, mercy, but he's going to bring judgment onto the Edomites and the ones that reject being, Israelites, because salvation is only for the Israelites. Mm-hmm. The ones that reject it, they're going to be destroyed, to be convinced of it. But the heathen, they have no hope, all right? They have to suffer this judgment. It says in verse 35, Yahweh says, death to Babylonia, death to its people, to its rulers, to its people of wisdom, death to its lying prophets, what fools they are, death to its soldiers, how terrified they are, destroy its horses and chariots, death to its hired soldiers, how weak they are, destroy its treasures, plunder and loot, bring a drought on its land. And the main drought that's going to come is this word. There's going to be a famine of the word of Yahweh. And dry up its rivers, and then eventually nuclear destruction. Babylonia is a land of terrifying idols that have made fools of the people. So the Lord wants this place destroyed. In fact, it says that he's long suffering, waiting to destroy this place, that none of his elect should perish. All right? Go ahead.
Going back to Isaiah chapter 34, we'll start at verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea.
Which is what? Those nuclear missiles. Mm-hmm. Idumea is Edom in Greek. So who's he going to destroy with nuclear missiles? Edom. Mm-hmm. See? Go ahead and finish that verse and I'll get one.
And upon the people of my curse to judgment.
Right, and the cursed are those 2/3 Israelite, really. Mm-hmm. Because it tells you in Matthew, I believe it's 25 and 40. Nope, it's 26 and 40. Matthew 26 and 40. It says, and he cometh. Nope, that's not it. Let me get it. No, it was 40. Matthew 25 and 40. And the king, which Yahushua is speaking of his return, shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, which these 2/3 are going to fight against us, ye have done it unto me. Then, because we're his body, then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, talking about those cursed Israelites that don't believe, into everlasting fire prepared for the devil and his angels, which it tells you in Isaiah 33, all right, that the unbelieving Israelite is very afraid. Isaiah 33 and 14, the sinners in Zion are afraid. Fearfulness had surprised the hypocrites. Who among shall dwell with the devouring fire? Who among us shall dwell with the devouring fire? Who among us shall dwell with everlasting burnings? He that walketh righteously and speaketh uprightly, he that despiseth the gain of oppressions and shaketh his hand and from holding of bribes, that stoppeth his ears from hearing of blood, and shutteth his eyes from seeing evil. Which that's a perfect Israelite, just like Job in his time. It says that he was upright and eschewed evil because he feared the Lord. All right, and that's how you got the elect men. All right, we're upright in our thinking, and we don't want no part of the evil of this place. All right, go ahead.
I go in Romans chapter 2, verse 5. But because you are stubborn and refuse to turn from your sin, you are storing up terrible punishment for yourself, for the day of anger is coming.
See? And that's what those two-thirds are doing. They don't realize what they're doing, but they're adding sin upon sin. They hear the prophets, they hear the prophecies, but they reject it. All right? You even got Israelites that are in the actual camps that have the truth, and they're going on because they're trying to be 1 foot in the world and 1 foot in the truth. Yep. You got to be fully persuaded in this truth, you know?
Okay, Con. Anger is coming when power's righteous judgment will be revealed.
Right, when Yahweh Shai, his son, will be revealed. Yahweh Shai is going to carry out that judgment of his righteous anger on this place.
I don't know if I mentioned this, that NLT version.
Mm-hmm.
He will judge everyone according to what they have done.
See? And that's what Yahweh Shai said in Revelation 22. It says in verse 12, and behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. See? So the Lord's bringing that judgment, all right, that righteous judgment, and that's why he's going to avenge the elect, because the elect, the holy apostles and prophets, we've been telling our people about this judgment and they've despised us. It says in Revelation 18 and 20, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai hath avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city be thrown down. Babylon, it says, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And what the Lord say for them that offend one of his little ones? It says, and these 2/3 are an offense. It says in Matthew 18, verse 6, which Yahweh Shai speaking in the red letter, but whoso shall offend one of these little ones, talking about his elect, which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Which means their death is going to be worse than that. And that'd be terrifying, to have a great stone tied to your neck and to be thrown into a deep sea. You know, there'd be great fear in that person. And that's what it means, that whoever goes against us, great fear is going to be upon them. All right, and what did it say? The sinners in Zion, great fear is upon them. All right?
Matthew chapter 12, verse 35. This is Yahweh Shai speaking. It's the NLT. It says, a good person produces good things from the treasury of a good heart.
Right, which a good man is like a good tree that produces good fruit to feed another. The tree don't eat its own fruit, but it produces apples or oranges or whatever for someone else to eat. See, and that's what we're doing. We're doing these videos. We're being edified ourselves as we learn and continue on. But we're to teach, all right, what we've learned. You see, and feeding the flock of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Go ahead.
And an evil person produces evil things from the treasury of an evil heart.
Which is what? Committing sin. Adultery, fornication, which is idolatry, abominations. All right, go ahead.
And I tell you this, you must give an account on judgment day, for every idle word you speak.
For every idle word you speak. And that's why the Lord's going to punish these 2/3, is because they spoke wicked words against the Israelites that were trying to give them warning. See? They said all kinds of shit. We don't even know, because some of that shit is in their head. They didn't even speak it. They just thought it. See? So the Lord's going to put that on them while they're in that lake of fire. It tells you that. In Proverbs 5. It says in verse 11, and thou mourn at the last when thy flesh and thy body are consumed, and say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined mine ear to them that instructed me. See? Because why? Because they're rebellious. It tells you in Isaiah 1 and verse 20, but if ye refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword, for the mouth of Yahweh has spoken it. And that's why those 2/3 are going to be in that lake of fire. Because they heard the truth and they rejected it. And then they talk shit against us. So they're going to be punished, and that's why it says he's going to avenge us. And we're going to rejoice at looking down on them while they burn. Go ahead.
I got here another one. It's going to be 2 Peter's chapter. Is that the wrong one? 2, verse 9. 2, verse 9. And this reads, the Lord power knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment, to be punished.
To be punished. Which they're going to be in that lake of fire. That's the punishment. For what? For their rebellion, for their denial of the truth.
Yeah, rejecting the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to Isaiah 34, verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
The sword of the Lord Yahweh is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord Yahweh hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
Right, so Basra was the capital of Edom, and that's why it's saying, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Why? Because they want to slaughter us. 2 Ezra 15, all right, and 10. It says in verse 10, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt, which is talking about America, as before. So just like he plagued ancient Egypt for the Israelites, he's going to do the same thing, and he's already doing the same things to this America, Babylon the Great, spiritual Egypt again, all right? It says, and smite Egypt with plagues as before. That's why you know he's not talking about ancient Egypt. He's talking about this new spiritual Egypt, America. Look at their dollar. Look at their government monuments. All right, they go back to Egypt, and it's because the Israelites, we are in the captivity under the Edomites. All right, and it says, and will destroy all the land thereof. And it tells you in Romans 9 that just like he built up Egypt, so Pharaoh had a God complex, all right, he brought the Israelites into that land so he could punish those Egyptians. And that's what he's doing right now with the Edomites. He brought us into this land as slaves. Remember, they had manifest destiny. They knew it was their place to get us into captivity. They just didn't know that the Lord was going to punish them for touching us. See, they didn't. The elite knew, but the average citizen, they didn't think nothing would ever happen to them for slaughtering the Israelites. All right, but now they want to come down with great wrath, knowing that they have but a short time. Why? Because the prophets are here telling you. All right, so they're going to try to slaughter as many of us as they can, but I will bring them with the mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Now, you could go to Egypt right now and see those pyramids from the past. So that ain't talking about that Egypt. It's talking about America, which is going to be turned into a desert by nuclear destruction. All right? They're going to shoot nuclear missiles, the BRIC nations and its allied nations, which will be the NATO nations at that time. They're going to shoot missiles on America. All right? It says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh, sending his son Yahushai, shall bring upon it. See? Go ahead.
This was the Jeremiah chapter 49. I'll start at verse 7. It's the ESV. Concerning Edom, thus say the Lord power of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Has counsel perished from the prudent?
Right, and it is. Because what they just came out and said, that time travel, they have the power to time travel.
Mm-hmm.
That's foolish. Right? That's like a child.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Making up fairy tales. And why? Because they ran out. They're done. These people are done, so they're going to pull a rabbit out their ass to try to... because I want to show you the White House said this. All right? Which makes it even worse, because this is the leadership, and it says that leaders rule over his people, and they set up women. All right? The Edomites are like children.
Yeah.
That's why you got shit in the water and other shit going on. Time travel White House. Let me get the White House report. White House. Yep, there it is. Just so you can see it right there. Yep. All right, right here. And what it says is, White House says it has tech that can manipulate time and space. See, they got a God complex like Pharaoh did in his time. All right? They don't have that power. All right?
Yeah.
Let me get one scripture real quick. It says in 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, which we lost who we were, but now we're remembering ourselves in captivity to the Holy Spirit, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. See, and that's him doing that right there with what we just showed you. Them saying that they have the power to time travel. Who has power over time and space? Yahweh and Yahushai.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning. Salakia, let me just grab that real quick. It says, in the beginning, Elohim created the heaven and the earth. See, time and space. In the beginning is time. And then what? He created in space, heaven and earth. Mm-hmm. And he has chosen one nation out of all the nations, the Israelites, and he has an elect right now on the earth out of all the Israelites. And those elect men are sighing and crying and prophesying. Go ahead.
Has their wisdom vanished? Flee, turn back, dwell in the depths, O inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him.
Right, that judgment that we've read, that their kingdom is going to be destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah and never remembered again. There will be no remembrance of them. After they're extinct, they'll be like, what is a so-called? They won't know what a white man is because one won't exist.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
That's a good thing.
even the name white won't even be because we will be calling you your biblical name.
Mm-hmm.
Edom, Esau, right? But we'll be doing it in the Hebrew, all right? Which is Aishawa, wasted away. That's what you are. You're going to be wasted away. You're a waste of space. See? And that's why your time of ruling is going to be forgotten because you're a waste of time. See?
The time when I punish him, if grape gatherers came to you, would they not leave gleaning? If thieves came by night, would they not destroy only enough for themselves? But I have stripped Esau bare, I have uncovered his hiding places, and he is not able to conceal himself. His children are destroyed, and his brothers and his neighbors, and he is no more. Leave your fatherless children, I will keep them alive, and let your widows trust in me.
Mm-hmm. Which the Lord is going to give these heathen over unto us, and they're going to be made extinct. Isaiah 14:21 and 22. All right, that's what the prophecy of Edom is. He's going to see his kingdom be destroyed. The elite are going to be in the bunkers, which we just read in Revelation 6, begging the rocks to fall on them to hide them from the judgment. And then those ones that are in the bunkers are going to be put in slavery by the Israelites. Yahweh Shai is going to give them over to us. It says he sends fishermen, right? Fishers for men. And then he's going to send hunters. We're going to hunt them, see, and put them in slavery. And then once we have them in slavery, which is not going to be hard, we're going to have power. Mm-hmm. We're going to be as gods. And they're going to be like men. And we're going to put them in slavery. And for 1,000 years, all these nations that had us in slavery, we're going to have them. And we're going to pay them back for everything they've done unto us. The so-called white man, Edom, the so-called Japanese, Ammon, the so-called Chinese, the Moabites, the so-called Africans, the Hamites, the Arabs, the so-called Arabs, the Ishmaelites. All right, we're going to have all these heathen in captivity, and we're going to pay them back for what they've done unto us. And there ain't going to be no police to stop us. There ain't going to be, you're not even going to have a God to pray to. You see? Because at the end, we're gonna force you, and eventually you're going to do it willingly, but you're going to serve our God, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. See? That's what's really going to come down that pipe of punishment, is we're going to re-educate you with violence, though.
That's going to be the beautiful part of it, you know.
And see, Esau, the wicked don't understand. So there's no future for them. They'll never get the ways of the Lord. Because they're wicked. They're foolish, wicked people. And so the Lord's going to have them made extinct. Tells you, after that 1,000 years of paying that judgment, they're done.
Isaiah 34, verse 7, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness.
Mm-hmm. Which, they have what? The satellites up in space. Mm-hmm. The Lord's going to make those come down. He already is, really, because remember Elon was trying to shoot more up?
Yeah.
And they're being shot down by chariots in front of everybody. Well, there's going to come a day where he's going to bring all this shit down. What you got to understand is when there's a nuclear destruction, there's EMPs that are set off. So all that shit up in space, and remember, there's going to be a mushroom cloud of great, amount And so all those satellites they have that they turn the planet into a prison, that's all coming down. See? It's going to be like their kingdom ain't going to just be knocked over and there's still going to be satellites or space trash. All that shit's coming down with that nuclear destruction. It's going to be burnt up. Go ahead.
For it is the day of the Lord Yahweh's vengeance.
Right, and he's going to send Yahushai to carry it out.
And the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion.
Which we're praying and hoping that this is the year, 2025, the year that we hope for judgment, the salvation of the elect of Israel, and the destruction of our oppressor and their kingdom. All right? And what's the controversy? That we're the Israelites. It says in Habakkuk 4, verse... Nope, that's not it. Let me see. It's... Not Habakkuk. It's... Let me see. Hosea 4. Hear the word, ye sons of Israel, for Yahweh hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of Yahweh or his son Yahushai in the land. Why? Because the wicked are ruling. They got you celebrating Easter. You see what I'm saying? It says, by swearing and lying, right? They swore falsely, and they've lied to these Israelites, telling them that's how you worship God. Right? They didn't teach them how to worship Yahweh or Yahushai. They taught them how to worship the so-called white man. It says, and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood touches blood. You got Israelites killing each other, whether it's over money, whether it's over women, whether it's over power or space, right? They're killing each other about neighborhoods, right? This is my hood, this is my street.
Yeah.
Fighting over these blocks that are not theirs. See, so the devil, the so-called white man, and the other nations have how to pay. Why are these Israelites like this? Why are they lacking knowledge? It's because the wicked are ruling, and they got an answer for that shit. Go ahead.
And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone, and the land thereof shall become burning pitch.
Burning pitch, just like a lamp, right? Just burning for a long period of time, all right? It's going to just be nuclear radiation burning for a long freaking time. And when that stops, it's going to smoke for a long freaking time. You see, it's going to be a memorial of the Lord's judgment being carried out on earth. Go ahead.
It shall not be quenched night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever. From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever.
It's going to be empty. It's going to be a desert. All that's going to be there are desert animals. See? But it's going to burn for a long time. Then it's going to smoke for a long time. And then it never be inhabited forever. It'll just be a desert. See?
Yeah, the only owl that's going to be existing is the one that's going to dwell there in that time, you know.
Yeah, the owls are going to be there. It tells you. Go ahead.
But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it, the owl also, and the raven shall dwell in it.
Right, which are unclean animals. So these unclean animals are going to dwell here.
And he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness.
But you're not going to see, like if you ever flew, you could see these different places, right? Or even in a map, they'll show you different states with lines. Well, when it's destroyed, you won't see nothing but a desert. In fact, we're going to fly by it to show our children the destruction. Even though they'll know of it by the Spirit, we're going to show, it says we're going to hiss at it like, damn, Lord, you did them good. You know, we're going to mock them and shit. Just like they mocked us. This place will always be a place that we're going to look at and be like, fucking right, man. The Lord did good when he destroyed this Peckerwood.
Yeah, got rid of every dirty, wicked, degenerate.
We're going to rejoice in the Lord that he destroyed these devils.
Signs, you know.
And their kingdom, right?
Mm-hmm. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her prince shall be nothing.
Shall be nothing. They're going to be extinct. Mm-hmm. You're going to be slaves in pits. You're not going to even be the house, a house Negro. You know how they used to do the house Negro and the field Negro? Mm-hmm. Which they called us all niggas. All right, if you didn't know that, you better look it up. Mm-hmm. All right, that name nigger was on all the 12 tribes. Mm-hmm. You had the Indian, the Gadite, which was called the Perry nigger. You had the Cuban, the tribe of Manasseh. They were called Spick niggas. You had the Jamaicans. They were called, there was another word for them. I can't remember. But they had all kinds of names. But nigga was on the end. And why? Because we were dark-skinned. And that word nigger goes back to black, right? In color, in Latin. All right? So really, they're going to be that nigga in that day, though. And I use it in what is it called?
Illustration?
Yeah. Of slavery. Mm-hmm. They're going to be that slave. Let me get it. And that's why I said nigga and not nigger, because nigga for slavery. See, it says right here, and it says, and escape. If you truly knew what the N-word meant to our ancestors, you'd never use it, which it was just a description of their color, all right, but it was in a derogatory way. Yeah. Derogatory words. I believe that's how you say that.
Derogatory.
Derogatory. Showing a critical or disrespectful attitude. See, diminishing. That's what they used to do to us in slavery by calling us niggers. All right? And now they got Jake calling each other nigger. See? So blood touches blood. They killed us. Now they taught you to kill each other. Mm-hmm. See? So that's what we're going to do to Esau in slavery. We're going to make them kill each other. Mm-hmm. They're going to abuse each other. We're going to abuse them. They're going to abuse each other and the other nations. Ain't no one going to help them. They're going to be at the bottom. All right? Now, let me go back to this. All right? About the word nigger, or nigga, as they use it today. All right? It says, after years of habitual use of nigger, I banished it from my speech to honor the humanity that many never saw in themselves. Why? Because it made you like a animal. See? I'm going to jump down. It says, Jim Allen, for example, dubbed himself his master's pet nigger boy and a stray, and thought himself privileged because he could sleep on the floor beside his master's bed. See, so we're going to be like that to you. You's going to be the nigger. You so-called Caucasians. But you're not even going to be able to sleep by our bed. You're going to be in the pits. Mm-hmm. See? Far from us, but we're going to, if there's a beautiful one of you, we're going to have her as a concubine.
Right.
You see? Mm-hmm. But she'll never go on that beyond that 1,000 years. After the 1,000 years, all these Edomite niggers are going to be extinct. Do you understand? All right? And so it says that he likened himself to a fortunate mangy mutt, a mangy mutt, or frisky feline crushed me. See, because they called us out of our name. They called you a nigga today. But see, the so-called white man, he's gonna be the nigga in our kingdom. You see, in the other nations. Let me see. Well, just do that. We'll go nigga etymology.
Mm-hmm.
Because words are spiritual. And that's what they were doing. They were degrading us. And they taught us how to degrade ourselves. All right? It says nigga. It's from 1925. Pronunciation originally is nigger. All right? And it was used for Negro. All right? But once again, they used it on all the 12 tribes of Israel. The so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian, which was scattered throughout the world in slavery. Now, let me get nigga etymology, Urban Dictionary. Urban Dictionary. So, nigga, this is in the Urban Dictionary. It says a word that has caused racial controversy over the last few decades and up to current times. It came from the derogatory term for African Americans, nigger. But once again, they called Mexicans niggers too. Mexican niggers. See, it says right there on that sign, no dogs, no Negroes, no Mexicans. All right. Another word for Mexicans they use and slur is wetbacks.
Right.
Spick nigger. That's what they said here. It says. Oh, I didn't even put called. I just put Mexican niggers. Let me get Mexicans called niggers. No, it's not there. So these are names that they have for Mexican slurs. Wetback, Vato, It says Tex-Mex is a derogatory word. Spick, a scrap, a roach. Here you go. River nigger. You understand? They all called us the same thing. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. They called the Native American Indians Perry niggers. All right? They called the Mexicans river niggers. Why? Because they had to cross the Rio Grande to come back into the land that they were pushed out by the so-called white man. See? So that's what we're going to do to you. We're going to put names on you. We're going to mock you. Everything you've done unto us, it's going to come upon you. You see? Recently, they had a video of a Jake basketball team that went to China, and they were calling them nigger.
Mm.
Why? Because they heard it from the slave master, Edom, that you call his pets niggas. They call each other niggas, right? Jake, right? Because we've learned to destroy each other through the way of the so-called white man, the red devil the Bible speaks of. And that's why, really, I was listening to that Al-Azhar when he was talking, and he always called, men in this troop nigger or nigga. Which, hey, man, we're Israelites. We're the sons of the power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai. We're the princes of power of heaven and earth. You see? So we're not niggas no more. We're not river niggers. We're not Perry niggers no more. We're not spick niggas. We're not niggas at all anymore. We are the Israelites. Because they even try to do that with the color. We're not black. All right? Even the darkest of us, we're not black. We're brown. See? Go ahead. And really, we got brothers that are lighter than the lightest Edomite. That are red, like Esau, because we've been able to take on the Edomite women and have children with them. See? So not every Israelite is going to be a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American Indian. But that's the foundation of the prophecies speaking on who we are and where we would be. Go ahead.
This is James chapter 3, verse 9. It reads, therewith bless we power, even the Father, and therewith curse we men which are made after the similitude of power.
Of power. We're gods, though we die like men. But they've taught us to hate ourselves, hate each other. See? To talk evil of ourselves. Right? The word nigger or nigga is a derogatory word to the Israelite. See? And what they've done, they've taught us to use it against each other.
To divide,
Yeah.
They want us in division.
Division.
Because if you're division, what's that saying? Say,
Yahushua said, a kingdom or a house divided cannot stand.
right.
And that's what Esau did unto us. And what's happening to him? What's happening to his kingdom? What are all the protests, hands-off protests about?
Yeah.
Their kingdom, their house is divided, so they shall surely fall. And the Lord said, He seen them fall like lightning. Because that nuclear destruction is only going to take 1 day, 1 hour. And their kingdom's not going to be ever again. And the remaining, those ones that are in the bunkers, they're going to be hunted and put in slavery. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 34, verse 13. And the thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof, and it shall be an habitation of dragons and a court for owls.
Right? It's going to be just pretty much desert creatures. And like it says in Isaiah 14. It says in Isaiah 14 and 20. Let's see. It says in 21, it says, prepare slaughter for his sons, talking about them in this generation. We're telling you what's going to happen. So we're preparing you for your slaughter, for the iniquity of their fathers, for what they've done to us and what they're going to do to us, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name and remnant and son and nephew, saith Yahweh. I will make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith Yahweh of hosts. Which it tells you in the NLT, it says, I will make Babylon a desolate place of owls, filled with swamps and marshes. I will sweep the land with the broom of destruction. I, Yahweh of heaven's armies, have spoken. See, so only animals of the desert will live here. No human will ever live here. It's going to be a desert of a monument to the Lord's judgment. All right. Once again, we're going to look upon this place and hiss at it. It says, hiss. So it says, Jeremiah 49 verse 17, also Edom shall be a desolation. Every one that goeth by it shall be astonished, like, damn. And shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. See? Like, damn. Just like you see someone get their ass stomped out. Let's see. It says, Jeremiah 19:8, I will make this city desolate and a hissing. Everyone that passes by shall be astonished and hiss because of all the plagues thereof. And that's so the Lord could have that fear put upon this land. Remember, the controversy that he has with the inhabitants of this land is that the world is ignorant of the power of Yahweh and his son Yahushua. You say there's little gray aliens on those chariots. You don't tell them about Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You talk about Easter. You talk about so-called white Jesus, right? So these people don't know about Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They don't know about the God of the Bible. Your Christian churches lie about, the true Lord, the true power, the true Savior, about the true people. You got counterfeits in our land. So the Lord's going to bring this judgment upon it. And when everyone hears about, damn, shit. I'm glad the Lord got rid of those motherfuckers. Yeah. That's what it's going to be. Mm-hmm. It says in Isaiah 14 and verse, let me see, it says, Isaiah 14:6, he who smote the people in wrath with the continual stroke, so the Edomites are ruling. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. So let's get the NLT. It says, you struck the people with endless blows of rage and held the nations in your angry grip with unrelenting tyranny. But that's why they're not going to hinder. They're not going to try to help you. That word hinder, it means to try to stop. When like a man's beating a woman, you have people that try to hinder him from beating her. Yeah. That's not going to happen for Esau. Mm-hmm. There's not going to be no mercy shown to him. Mm-hmm. It says, hinder, that word. In that place, it's, let me get the root word.
Strong's H, 2820. Chasach.
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 It says, to spare, keep back, withhold, refrain. All right? To restrain. So nobody's going to restrain us from beating their ass every day. From kicking their freaking face into the back of their head every fucking day. Grabbing the baby, right? Just like they've taken our babies and destroyed them, we're going to take their babies and destroy them in front of them. It says that in Psalm 80, what is it? Psalm 137. It says in 7, remember, O Yahweh, the sons of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. So the past, what you've done unto us. O daughter of Babylon, which we're in the present time, who art to be destroyed, which that's the future, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us, which that's what we're hoping to receive. We're hoping to receive you in captivity and get to pay you back for every fucking thing you've done unto us. It says, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. So you broke up our families. You put our children in these fucking foster cares. You've sex trafficked our children. Mm-hmm. You led our children in lies in your education system. You put them in these juvenile halls where they were able to get molested and all that. We're going to take your Edomite babies, when we get you in slavery, we're going to take them and smash them against stones. See, we're going to pay you back for everything you've done unto us for 1,000 years, and then you're going to be made extinct. See? And when people see this place, because it's going to be a desert, and hear of these things, because we're going to be the priest to these other nations, man, they're going to be like, dang, that's what the Lord did for them that are ungodly, right? It's going to be terrifying for them to see that power, that magnitude of power. Remember, they're going to live it, and then they're going to pass the stories down to each other of what they experienced. You know, it's going to be terrifying.
Yeah, that's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, that's why we're going to be up in the chariot, because it's going to be so terrifying to be on earth. Just think, an earthquake that shakes the whole earth. Have you ever seen someone in a 7.0? Just think about someone in something that they've never even experienced, where the whole earth is going like a drunkard. Boom, boom. And we don't know how long that's going to last. See? This place is going to be done. The whole earth is going to be in rubble. See? And then we're going to come down. America is going to be burning, but we're going to rebuild our land on the backs of our slaves.
I got one, Isaiah. Chapter 3, verse 11. Woe to the wicked, it shall be ill with him. ESV version.
Yep.
For what his hands have dealt out shall be done to him.
There you go. Just as it is written. All right. But we'll go ahead and write. You got more of that?
Just one more.
Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 37, verse 38. The transgressor shall be altogether destroyed. The future of the wicked shall be cut off.
See? They're done. That's why they're coming with this bullshit out of their ass about time travel. If you had time travel, why don't you change the future with changing the past? Mm-hmm. But they can't. They can't.
They're bullshitters.
They're bullshitters, right? From birth. Let's see. The righteous will rejoice. Let me grab that verse real quick. The righteous will rejoice. At the destruction of the wicked. I think it's in the Psalms. KJV. Psalms 58 and 10. The righteous shall rejoice when he seeth the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked, which we're going to brag about our Father destroying this place through his Son. That's what that literally means, wash the blood. Wash his feet in the blood of the wicked. It means that we brag about your destruction. So when these other nations hear about it, they're like, dang, did you hear about what happened to these people? They didn't, they were ungodly. That's why even the other nations, they're going to turn their own people over hey, these people are talking about homo, some shit like that. They're going to carry out the judgments according to the Bible immediately. See? Adultery happening. The Israelites are going to be righteous forever after this, but the other nations are going to sin. So when they sin, we're going to show them the way of the Lord. Hey, these people committed adultery. They got to die. And they're going to put them to death, or we will. You see? In our kingdom, there dwelleth righteousness. And there's times you got to put people to death to show righteousness, like adultery, so that shit stops from spreading. All right? Or that sodomite spirit. That shit got to be put down immediately. Go ahead.
Psalms 37, verse 40, the NLT. The Lord Yahweh helps them, rescuing them from the wicked. He saves them, and they find shelter in Him.
There you go. And that's why we call upon Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and He shelters us. He's our buckler. He shields us, and He protects us to deliver us. Not to destroy us, but to deliver us. All right, but with that, we give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha-Rakat Quadash. Double honors unto our apostle elders, which rule Great Millstone well, and shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, Wa Abba Babal.